Now, Zach, you were selected by your song was selected by Ryan Tedder. What was it like working with him?
Man, Ryan Tedder has been one of my idols since I kind of started doing this. He just has so much energy. He's so present.
Working in the morning, got me working all night, yeah, really bad habits.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Can I turn the AC
Started
up?
from the bottom, now we here.
Put the AC on.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, we have an incredible guest by the name of Zach Sorgen, who has been featured on the NBC hit show Songland. Zach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing quite well. How you doing, Clay?
Well, you improved my life by somewhere between 2 and 9% when you were on the Songland show. Your performance was awesome, so I hope to improve your life by somewhere between 2 and 9%. My friend,
That's a pretty good ratio.
tell me about the excitement level of being on this show. How did that come to pass?
Man, I am so excited. It's been such a dream. I have been getting love and messages from my orthodontist, from high school teachers, and from all sorts of people who I haven't spoken to in years, and from a bunch of new people as well. So it's been totally wild. Just living it up right now.
Now, I know you've been doing a lot of work grinding where people can't see the work you've been putting in. So I'd like for you just to share as a way to maybe encourage some of the listeners out there who are also into music and songwriting. What kind of work have you been doing to on a daily basis to turn your professional music career, from a dream into a reality?
Totally. Well, the music business is one of the most competitive out there, so it definitely takes a lot of hard work, and you have to be passionate about it.
Right.
That's the only thing that'll keep you going. But I moved to LA about 7 years ago, and I've been writing a song a day since then. Some days
a day.
Instead of starting a new one, I'll finish an older song. But it's a lot of fun. You get to work. Yep, song a day, and you get to work with friends. And everyone kind of brings a different skill set. So maybe one person's better with the lyrics, one person's better with the production or with the melody, and you kind of all bang your heads against the wall until you find something cool.
During your episode, you shared a little bit about the age at which you started writing your first song. But for the listeners who haven't seen the show yet, can you share about when you started writing your first song?
Yeah, I started taking piano when I was 7, and I think I was about 9 years old when I made my first song. It was very randomly about a clown who had lost his smile, and he was kind of reaching for his smile, trying to get his smile back.
There's not enough songs about clowns losing their smiles. Now, you started it at 9? at 9. Now, did you ever want to quit the piano lessons? Because my son is here with me. Now, my son is 12, and he's listening in here. And, did you ever want to quit music lessons?
I definitely did, and you just got to power through it. I think it's really hard at first when you're starting to learn and you have to practice, and just like anything, it takes hard work. But once you get to a certain point and you can kind of make up your own songs, or you feel a little more proficient and play some cool songs, then it becomes a lot more fun, right?
So, Aubrey,
I'd tell your son just to keep going.
My son, Aubrey, are you there? Are you mic'd up, Aubrey? Are you on the mic?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, Aubrey, you got to ask Mr. Zach here, because you are a 12-year-old guy. You're taking piano lessons and drum lessons. What question do you have for the star from the hit show Songland? What do you have for Zach?
What did you enjoy about piano?
You know what, Aubrey? It's nice to talk to you, and I think I enjoyed it only once I started being able to make up my own songs. When I was kind of playing stuff from the book, it wasn't as fun, but you got to power through that, and then once you can start just messing around and creating stuff on your own that you like, then it becomes a real blast.
Now, Zach, you were selected by your song was selected by Ryan Tedder, one of the producers of the show,
Right.
to sit down with you and to produce your song. And a little fun factoid for you: Ryan Tedder, I attended college at Oral Roberts University, and he lived right across the hall and down towards the elevators. And he performed at our wedding reception, and he actually filled in a crisis DJ gig for me with my first company called DJConnection.com. So I've seen
No
Ryan.
way.
No, I've seen Ryan's progression. I'm telling you. How old are you right now? There's Zach.
I'm 29.
If you look up Ryan's progression in his history, I'm just telling you, I watched. I got a chance to converse with him and interact with him in college and see that guy was obsessed, and he really didn't start to get the big opportunities or the big breaks until his late 20s as well. What was it like working with him?
Man, Ryan Tedder has been one of my idols since I kind of started doing this. I guess mainly because he has his band, One Republic, and they tour.
True.
And then he also writes songs for other artists, and that's kind of my dream job. I have a band called Wake the Wild, and I also want to work with a bunch of other artists in different styles. But working with Ryan was especially incredible because he just has so much energy. He's so present with you, and like, you know, me, I have to listen to a song a couple times. Maybe the first time I just get catching a vibe, and the second time I'm really listening to the lyrics or the production. But he, upon one listen, had a very clear vision of what he liked and what he didn't like, and he had a bunch of ideas, and I was just in awe of being able to sit in a room with him. So I was like, let's go for it. Anything you want to try. You know, you can always go back to your original version, but let's try everything.
I think that being present is a present. You know, I mean, as a business owner,
Definitely.
entrepreneur, being present is a present. As a songwriter, I'm sure that. Can you explain to me what it felt like, or what it looked like for Ryan Tedder to be present?
I mean, he was just so engaged, and you can tell there's some people when you talk to them, they have this kind of aura about them, and he was one of those people where as soon as I met him, even apart from knowing who he was and all his accolades and everything already, it's just he was very engaged, he was very honest and sincere and fun-loving, and we were joking around in the studio, but also getting down to business, and he has, you know, a very clear idea about, you know, what he thinks is good or not, and he had some great ideas about how to improve my song, and that was just really cool working with him.
What tools do you use in your studio for the aspiring songwriters out there? Can we just get into kind of the into the nerdery a little bit? We have a lot of listeners out there. We have about 500,000 listeners. And we don't have nearly as many listeners as Songland has viewers, but we have a lot of listeners, and a lot of them are aspiring musicians. We've talked to quite a few of them. From a technical perspective, if you can picture, do you like right now live in an apartment, or do you have like a condo or a house, or where do you call home?
I have a house, actually. There's 5 of us, including my girlfriend and I and 3 roommates.
So talk to me about some of the equipment gear you have to hack out some of your songs before you go into the studio. What kind of equipment do you try to keep near you to put together some of your songs when you're doing a song a day, you know, before you can go to a studio and fully produce it out?
Totally. Well, lucky for me, we have a little back house, so I have the studio is actually
Cool.
right at the house, which makes it pretty convenient.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of my friends have bedroom studios. So all you really need is 2 monitor speakers, so you can get a kind of a left and a right mix.
Do you have a certain brand that you prefer? Do you have a certain brand you're into that you personally believe in or you use yourself?
Yeah, I have the Adams,
Adams?
and they're on the less expensive side, but they're very clear
Got
and
it.
pretty flat. So you're not, they're not boosting the highs or the lows too much. It's a pretty flat response, which means if they sound good there,
Got it.
it's going to sound good in any system.
That's awesome. Okay, so the Adams monitors, got it.
Studio monitors, and then I'm a piano player, so definitely have a little electronic keyboard, and you can hook it up with a USB cable to your computer. Even people that aren't pianists, actually, just to be able to mess around with some sounds and kind of tinker on the keys, that can really help. You can play a bass on the piano, you can play synths on the piano, bells. You can even do a drum.
What kind of
sound
keyboard
on the
do you
piano.
like? How many keys do you have, and what sort of keyboard do you like?
I have something called The Prophet by Dave Smith, which is a really nice analog board that I just got. I'm really excited about. And that one has all the sounds kind of built into it. So
Yeah.
you're doing all the sound design within the keyboard itself. But you can get a MIDI keyboard, which is basically just kind of the shell for relatively cheap at Guitar Center or whatever. And then you have your sounds actually in the computer. And any MIDI keyboard is good. The Axiom. Because I'm a piano player, I like to have a full 88 keys so I can reach the high notes and the low notes. But for people who are just starting out, I'd say just get like a little keyboard, even 1 or 2 octaves.
Yeah.
And then you can jump it up or down the octave on the keyboard, and that's a lot of fun just being able to mess around right there.
Now your voice is amazing, and a lot of people say, man, it sounds like his music is his voice is incredible, and your voice is incredible. But is there a certain microphone that you prefer to sing into? Is there a certain mic that maybe our listeners should get? There's so many kinds of mics. I mean, you have the Slate mics that are really popular right now. You got the SM58.
Totally.
You got the 7. There's so many different kinds of mics. What's a mic that you'd recommend for all of our listeners out there that are looking to really record something of value?
Well, Clay, when I was, I had the same question myself, and I just kind of Googled what mic does Beyonce use, and I saw that she uses the Neumann U87. So that's the one I got. At first, I had looked up what mic Michael Jackson used, and on Thriller, he used an SM7B. So that was the one I got. But it turns out that mic is only good if you're belting, if you're singing real loud. It sounds great, but if you're doing a soft vocal, more intimate, then you want a condenser mic like the U87. I also really like the Manley mics. The black Manley has kind of a bassier tone.
Now the Neumann mic
nice.
is like a $3,000 mic, right? I mean, it's roughly $3,000.
Something around there. I got mine used on Craigslist for I want to say like $1,300 or something. But it's been a good investment because everything I'm recording, whether I'm pitching it or releasing it, is going through that mic, and I actually run that mic through the Avalon 737, which is a preamp. So that kind of has some analog tubes as well, and then having that nice input signal just makes the biggest difference when you're listening to audio. And whether people think your song is good or not, it actually helps if it sounds good. So I'm happy I made that investment.
You are blowing my mind. Now somebody out there might say, well, as a singer-songwriter, how do you raise $1,000? It's like, are we going on GoFundMe here? Are you working as a waiter? Because before you get a hit, you know how it is. And even if you get to a right on a pop star, we had Ross Golan on the show, and even if you have a right on a big album, but it's not one of the top, one of the top 1 or 2 releases, one of the top tracks, you might not make a lot of money on that. How have you been able to support yourself?
Yeah, unfortunately, for songwriters right now, it's very hard to make a living. I teach piano lessons, which has actually been very rewarding and fun, and I get to watch the kids grow up and help younger people learn how to make music. So that's been cool for me. There's also a company called Sound Better, and there, if you have a skill set, say you're a singer with a mic, or if you have a friend who has a studio, you can people will post jobs they're looking for. So they might need a singer on a track, or they might need someone to mix their song, or someone to master their song, or they might say, hey, I need someone to play some guitar. So it's kind of a nice community, and you can make a little bit of money that way. The other thing is, if you do have good quality recordings, say my first band, we did a Kickstarter. We raised a couple $1,000 and recorded 11 songs. And with that album, 2 of the songs ended up getting on the show 90210, and that paid us $6,000. So that was kind of, we started with the Kickstarter, and then once we had some material to work with, then it was about sending those songs out to music supervisors and trying to get syncs, is when you get your song in a commercial or TV show or a movie, and that tends to pay pretty well.
Now, I want to respect your time, but I have 2 final questions for you. On YouTube, if I go to your YouTube channel, Zach Sorgen, There's so much good stuff, and if I were to click, and I'm going to click right now, I'm clicking. I'm a clicker.
Hey guys, I'm Zach
we go.
Sorgen, and this is for the American Idol audition.
Here we go.
Oh wow!
Here we go.
Wow.
Let me just play
I
for
gotta
just.
take that down.
Let me take for just a second here, real quick here. I just want to because the stuff that you're not proud of blows my mind. The stuff that you're going, I could clearly do better. This blows my mind. I don't understand. You're so good. It's so good.
Take all that I have to give. Anything that's mine is yours.
So you're going, that's not my best. What is a song where you, what's something,
I'm gonna
what's
take
something
that
right
down
now?
Right now.
What's something on the video? If I go to your YouTube channel, what's one thing right now that I need to listen to? I mean, is your In My Blood cover? Is it your what? Give me something.
You know what?
Listeners want to check out something.
Yeah, you know what, Clay? If you go to my band's YouTube page, actually, it's called Wake the Wild.
Wake the Wild. I'm going there right now. Yeah.
Wake the Wild. We just put out a song last Friday
Yeah.
that I'm very proud of and super stoked for. It's kind of electronic pop, new disco, funky
Is
vibe.
it Body Language?
And Body Language is great. Ritual is great. Superficial is the one we just put out a couple days ago.
Superficial. And this is your one you're going, hey, this is really good. This is the move. Now what I'm going to do,
Yeah.
in violation of all rules, etc., I'm going to just play just 15, 20 seconds, okay? Because I want listeners just to hear enough to go, I want to hear it. I'm an entrepreneur. I built my business out of my dorm room, and I want to get you exposure because you're pouring your heart and soul into this. And if I can help 1,000 people or hopefully 500,000 people become a fan of yours, I want to do it. So let me just cue it up real fast here, real fast. Let me just kind of...
Thank you, Clay.
No, seriously, this is great. Your performance was great. Okay, we got the video playing here. By the way, videos are typically done best if you're watching them, but we're going to listen to it here. This is good. All right, here we go. Wake the Wild, Superficial. Check it out on YouTube. Here we go.
Is it worth it? Trying to make your life look picture perfect. To be honest, I don't even know what's underneath it.
Should we go to the chorus?
Go for it.
Here we go.
You got caught up in the hype. You got lost in all the lights.
Come on, Thrive Nation, check it out.
You got Hollywood. Say you know what's good. Do you even know what you believe? Superficial. Always faking every lie. Superficial.
Check it out. Superficial.
Superficial.
Oh, yeah.
What you got to hide. Superficial. On the surface.
Oh, man, that is hot. That is hot, folks. If you now listen,
Thank you.
if you are out there listening right now and you have carpal tunnel, your wrists don't work, you've got super intense arthritis, and you're like, oh my gosh, clicking with my thumbs would be terrible. I don't know how I could possibly get there on my phone or on my computer. Push through the pain, take some Novocaine, and check it out. Zach Sorgen, the song is Superficial. Zach, I'm going to give you the floor because on the show, a heavily produced show, a great show like Songland, a lot of times you don't get a chance to maybe share that word of encouragement or your heart, because they're cutting to commercials. There's a lot going on. You kind of get the highlights. I would love to give you the floor, and then I'll let you get back to doing you. What is one word of encouragement or one action step or maybe even an ask? Anything you want to share with our listeners, my friend? Do you have the mic?
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Clay, for this great energy, and thank you guys for listening. And I just want to say, go for it. Whatever you want to do in life, just don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to anyone who tells you can't do it or you're not good enough.
That's right.
Because I really, truly believe that anything you want to do, if you really want it, and you got to really, really want it, but if you just push for it and keep doing it every day with persistence, you can follow your dreams and get where you want to be.
Thrive Nation, you right now, if you're listening right now and you're within if you have the ability to put your hands together, let's hear it for Zach Sorgen. You're in your car right now. It's kind of awkward because it's one-on-one right now. It's just in your car. You're clapping, but I want you to put your hands together right there. And I'm just telling you, what we had right there was a bromantic interview with an incredible guest right there. Zach Sorgen, thank you so much for being on the show, my friend. You absolutely, sincerely have a touch my family's life. We watch that show faithfully, and my kids are very inspired by what they're hearing, and it was encouraging to hear you and just a little bit of your story. So thank you so much.
I love that, and thank you for taking the time, Clay. You definitely made my day at least 12% better.
All right, man. Hey, you take care and have a great rest of your evening.
All right, you too, man. Thanks so much for taking the time.
All right. And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.